I'm the Frugal Gardener. Welcome back to my garden. The birds are happy. We are about to experience our first heat wave of the summer. I try to usually do 2 videos a week, but this week, well, it's a holiday weekend, and also it's going to be very hot, so we'll see what happens. As you can see, I'm in my garden, and I want to show you guys what's going on because it's been a lot, and it also explains why everything is looking like a jungle over here. This is probably going to be my next project, but the title of this video is Why Now? And it's a perfectly reasonable title when you think about it. And I'll explain to you what's happening here. Basically, I decided this year for the first time to use all of my garden space, all. And that's like quite the task when you consider the fact that this is my new 40-foot garden space. So on top of this, I'm going to show you what I've been planting in my other areas. As a matter of fact, I'm still planting. I had to spend some time dealing with the critters. Apparently one of them is back because I saw my sensor come on last night. This one right here, this light sensor, that tells me that something is going on. So let's get started. If you are a regular to my channel, then you know the history of this raised garden. It was built for me by my family, and I was only able to grow potatoes and sweet potatoes because everything that I grew above ground was getting eaten by stuff that came through here in the little highway, and they would just get in here until I put this fence up. Well, once I did, I had a problem, and it was a good problem, I guess, because I didn't know what I was going to plant in here. So I kept changing my mind and changing my mind. At one point, I was going to just do all onions. These onions originate in Italy. And as I went on, I settled on this finally. When I say this, it's really a hodgepodge of things. These are sweet potato slips. These 4 are going up and down here. And you might say, well, I'm having trouble with my math because I said 4 and it's actually 5 because that on the end is, I planted a tomato. There's another tomato plant down here. And if you look real close, you'll see up in here, these were the onions. They're called tropia onions from Italy. And the little straggly things that are coming up. This I'm going to have to clean up. I was a little bit reluctant because I like these flowers over here, but this is going to have to go. I spent quite a bit of time on this the other day with the little frugal nephew. I have 3 frugal nephews now. The frugal nephew, the mini or little frugal nephew, and happy to announce the frugal nephew pastor. One of my nephews lives in Pennsylvania. He's actually a real pastor of a church. And so he's gardening now, and I'm really excited about that. So this is the reason why it looks scraggly in here, because I added more seeds yesterday. And I also added some lavender in here. Now, what you don't see besides the seeds is because of the critters. Yes, this fence will keep the possums out. It'll keep the raccoons and the rabbits out, but it won't keep the small critters out, the field mice. So you'll see these little skins here, and those skins are here because I was going to say but it wasn't me. The frugal nephew planted a perimeter of garlic around about 6 inches in from the edge. It's like those invisible fences you see for dogs. Keep them in, but you don't see them. I planted them here, or he planted them here, and we also planted them in the garden that I just left. So that's a deterrent. There's going to be a lot of activity going on in here because I also planted sunflowers going down the center here. So there's sunflowers, there's sweet potatoes, there's onions, there's lavender, there's tomatoes. So when in doubt, just plant everything. So that's where I am with this. This doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but come back in a couple of weeks and you'll notice the difference. All right, so here's another project that I need to get done. As I should have mentioned to you earlier, I have about roughly 120 days for the first frost. This is one of 3 projects outside of the main garden that I'm going to work on. So the Frugal Nephew, my sidekick for the day, is going to help me with this because this is actually his little plot and I'm about to give him a second one. So for the first time in a very long time, I planted carrots. Again, I say I. This is the little Frugal Nephew. He'll be 11 soon. This is his little patch, and it looks a little bit disorganized because we threw these over top to keep the cover on, and again, to keep the little creatures out. This is all carrots, like I said. So we're going to get those in about 70 days, so a little bit more than 2 months. This was not used last year, and the reason is because he was away for most of the summer. He's going to be away again this summer, but he's not going to be gone that long, so I'll keep an eye on this for him. So this was not used until now, and this was not used for quite some time. Let's move on. So towards the end of this video, I have something special to show you guys. I try to leave you with something positive, something new, something different. This is really, really going to help you, especially with your health. These are golden beets. I should have planted these in something larger, so they're going to be harvested pretty soon. There's quite a few things that I'm going to be harvesting shortly. This is one of my 4 Jamaican sorrel plants, and that's starting to really do well. This makes me happy. These are 5 of my bush bean plants. Yes, I have to keep these covered. The deer come through here on a regular basis. I actually saw hoofs in this soft, or what you call muddy soil. So that means they came through here probably last night. If you look close, you can see where the beans are starting to grow. Here's one here, here's one here, here's one. Here's a larger one. If I can zoom in on it. So they're coming up all over the place. Everywhere you see these little white flowers, you can see them in here. You will eventually see beans. I can see 2 or 3 right here. So, like I said, there's 5 of these. For the most part, they're covered. These are bush beans. Up at the top there, I have pole beans. So I'm going to skip over this because we talked about this enough times. And this is my shade cloth that I need to get ready because of the heat wave that we're going to experience. If I recall correctly, a heat wave is 3 days or more of 90 degrees or above temperatures. So we're definitely going to reach that and probably surpass that. This has another, well, it's supposed to go for another 3 weeks. These are potatoes. These are Kennebec potatoes that I planted a little bit more than 2 months ago. And I did an experiment a couple of years ago, and I grew some potatoes in a dish pan. And the experiment went well. It was well received. But a couple of people, wanted to nitpick and say, oh, you have to wait until all the leaves die down. You should have waited longer. I know all that. This was basically an experiment. This was basically trying to get people that do not garden to garden and explain to them that you can grow potatoes in 3 months. I probably will let these die down, let these turn brown and die down. My frugal nephew, Pastor, is also growing potatoes for the first time. So when he sees this video, hopefully that will give him some inspiration. There are a couple of blades of grass in here that I can pull out, but that's another area that I'm using. This, I skip over all the time. It is, let me see, how can I call this? A mess. This whole area has not been used in about 2 years. The last time I used this area was to grow squash. And you may think I'm crazy, especially with the heat coming, but yes, I am going to use this area again. You can see the cinder blocks in the back. You see the pitchfork. You see all the mess. Basically, I'm going to clean all this out. Maybe I'll have some help. Who knows? I'm going to grow mustard greens in here, strictly for medicinal purposes, and I'll explain that to you when the time comes. These are the last 2 areas that I have to work on. This is the final area, and then I'm going to show you what's been growing up in here, and then I'll give you guys the little surprise of what's happening at the end. Look at this. This is so weird. I planted these last year and they didn't do well. I don't know why, but here they are, and I'm not complaining. This is what I came to show you guys. This pot, this pot, this pot, these 4. These were my rock stars last year, some of them. And I grew a little bit of everything in here last year. And it did well. I'm not going to clean this whole thing out because we're like 2 days away from July. So I keep an eye on my days to frost date. So I'm about 3 months away from that happening. So basically what we did was came in here and chopped all these down, chopped all this out. I am going to spray in here. Yes, I know people, I don't generally use pesticides, but they're not going to be in the pots. It's just going to be so I can have a clear path to get to this area here, these 4 big pots here, because this is my plan B. My plan B from the field mice and the critters that were getting into my plants, the things that I put into the ground earlier this spring. So if by some chance I'm not able to work that out, then I'm still going to have my melons. I'm still going to have my sugar babies, my cantaloupes, my honeydews, because I'll just plant them in there. The birds have found the food. I just filled up the feeder before I started, and they're coming over for a late breakfast. Okay, moving on. This is also working out very well. These are my scarlet runner beans. That's the reason why you see these colors here, and they're coming up. And this is going to go all the way over this trellis, come down this side, and go down here. I have, trumpet vines in here. And I also have another one going down that end. Now, this is pretty recognizable to you guys, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm just showing you. With all the rain we had the other day, a lot of this is coming to life. The beans are coming to life. The tomatoes are coming to life. The squash, or tomato plants, I should say. Over here, same thing. Everything. I just planted this a couple of days ago. Now I know the critters are back because this was not disturbed like this is here. A little bit here, I just threw this in the other day. Something got into here, but for the most part, I think this is working. And the reason why I say it's working is because nothing has been eaten. This, I'm going to have to finish working on. I brought in my lavender here, here, and here. And this is where the frugal nephew put the rest of the elephant garlic. So I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to try again. I'm going to keep my traps out because, oh, look at this. This is the corn, the remaining corn. I planted corn all up and down here, and it got to all of them and it didn't touch this one. These are coffee grounds. I got to get these papers up. I left these here deliberately so that I would remember what I did here. So between the coffee grounds and the elephant garlic and the lavender, I'm hoping that it deters them from coming over here or coming anywhere in here, to be more exact. This is another one of my tomato plants. This is another star here. This is, I mean, I'm really surprised and happy the way this lettuce is taking off. We harvested some the other day, and I got to come back and get the rest of this, because if I don't, it's going to start to go bad. It's going to start to bulk. The peas you saw, I'll give you guys a full tour on this later, but the point of this video is to let you guys know that there are two reasons why I'm taking the time and energy. Well, there's a B. This means that all this work I put into building this is working. You can see right there. I did not see this last year. We're still in June. I didn't see bees until late July. This is a really, really, really great sign for me. I built this for the purpose of them coming in here to pollinate. Also, the birds and the butterflies. So here we are now to what I wanted to really talk to you guys about. And before I do, I just wanted to make sure that I touched on this. I'm going to do a video on this. The food that you guys are growing is really important. And a lot of people will say to you, people who don't garden will say to you, well, why don't you just go to the store? You know, it's a lot easier, blah, blah, blah. The research I've done, like I said, I am going to do a full video on this. The food, I had a conversation with some family members a couple of days ago, and we were talking about how the food does not have the vegetables, the fruits don't taste like they did years ago. Don't taste like they did when we were children. And what I realized in doing this research is that the gardeners now, the farmers now, are using what's called synthesized fertilizers. And they're basically, when they use that, it bypasses the plant's natural nutrient uptake mechanisms. So what happens is, when you have people that are just interested in seeing how much food they can grow, how fast they can grow it, and how fast they can get it to market, how pretty they can make it look, then that's all they're concerned about. They're not concerned about, you know, how much nutrition is in there. They're not concerned about how healthy it is. So it has been proven that the nutrient value of the foods that we got growing up is not the same. The vegetables are the same, the fruit's the same, but the value, what you're getting in your body is not. You're getting less iron, less zinc, less magnesium, less microorganisms, because the acceleration of the growth, they try to grow things faster. They are growing things faster. That depletes the nutrients from the soil. And also, we were always taught to rotate our crops. Well, a lot of farmers apparently aren't doing that anymore. So when you don't do that, then again, you're depleting the soil. So this is important. It's bad and it's important. 30% of the soil, of most of the soil on most of the farms around the world is either moderately or highly degraded. So if your soil is crap, you can't expect to get like really good produce that's healthy for you. And that brings me to something that I am starting to grow. I tried this once before, but I wasn't real serious about it. I had other things that I was dealing with. So I'm going back to this time. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. This is bok choy. Yes, it's Asian and it's considered a superfood. It has high amounts of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, 70 types. I'll say that again, 70 types of antioxidants. It's good for bone health. Some people say that it's good for fighting cancer. You can eat it raw or cooked. Here's the best part. This grows between 30 and 75 days. It's not one of those deals where you're out there waiting and waiting and waiting. These tomatoes are going to take me 3 months. A lot of what I'm growing out here, these potatoes are going to take me 3 months. The peppers are going to take me at least 3 months. You get the idea. You know where I'm going with this, because most of you guys are gardeners. Now you can grow something that's healthy for you. Topsoil is another one. I'll go into that in another video. You can grow something that's healthy for you, something that is inexpensive, and something you can grow pretty quick. So that's my tip for you for today for that. And like I said, I'm going to, I think I've gotten like one of these critters still running around. Doesn't look like very many from this here. So I think they're not happy with my new setup. I don't know how long it's going to take before the elephant garlic kicks in. Not sure if they can smell it before it grows. If you know, let me know in the comments. But the bottom line is, I think I got this thing pretty much beat. This is all working well. Now it's time for me to work on this. Get all this cut up, bring a lawnmower or something up here, get this done. And I'm going to replant around here and see what happens. But like I said, even if it does not grow here, I still have down the other end. I'm not going to keep you guys today because, like I said, you know, I'm really holding back on giving you the tour because so much has happened in the past week. So much has gone well, and I'm kind of not used to that now. I've been struggling since I've been up here, and now everything is starting to take off. So I'm really happy about that. But at any rate, thanks for spending time with me today. Please comment, please like, please share, and remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. I'm the Frugal Gardener. See you guys on the flip side. Have a great day.